work outside a couple of days this week. How productive was that in terms of maybe adjusting to some of what you feel and see?
Yeah, I think timing-wise was perfect because, look, it's going to be windy, it's going to be cold there, but it was pretty windy here the last couple of days, and it's good to get out on the grass to begin with. Their surface will be a little bit different, but I think the game day conditions will be a factor in this game. It'll be important.
Sean, what is when you're watching Akeem Hicks out there? What's the thing that stands out the most about him? Is it just kind of like the pure strength, or is there something else that pops out to you?
Well, look, he's got outstanding strength, but the thing that you see that's unique is his athleticism, get off, and his ability to bend and turn. I mean, so it's not just his strength and power, but it's also the athleticism that's with it, and that makes it real difficult for whether it's the guard or whoever ends up in the matchup, because he's able to turn, and he's extremely athletic.
Hey, Sean, go ahead, Luke.
We haven't really talked to you about this week. Is their offense any different with Foles in there? Does he add any elements to their offense?
Yeah, look, I think there are a few nuances. Appears to be they're in a little bit more gun, and yet there's still a general overview of what they're doing offensively, and so maybe. I think Mitch was handling some of the RPOs, maybe one or two more, but you can tell he's got a comfort level in the shotgun. They are under center, so they'll mix that in and work the zone schemes. And part of it is just the type of quarterback. They're a little different when you look at both of those guys.
Hey, Sean, yesterday Alvin talked about not having power. Is that something that a lot of your players had to deal with? And if so, how's the focus been?
Yeah, look, when you take a team or a group of, let's just call it, coaches, players, a group of 100 people, maybe even more than that, you know how this works. So there's areas of the city that lost it. There's areas that didn't. We're trying to help as best we can with hotel space, all the things that they may need or their family might need. And hopefully, one by one, sooner than later, that they'll be back to a little bit of the normal. All right, thank you.
Hey, Jared, has the team been able to focus pretty well this week? I know Alvin told us yesterday that, he was out of power at his house, and I'm sure some others were too, but have you all been able to kind of set that aside and focus?
Yeah, it's kind of like we have to. I think football's been good for us because it kind of gets us away from the house a little bit and the things we got going on there. But at the same time, I know my family's not down here, but I know a lot of guys whose families are down here. You can kind of get worried about them a little bit during the day, but I don't have power. I know a lot of guys still don't have power, and it's tough, but being around football definitely helps.
How much of a distraction is that when you're trying to focus on preparing for games and you go home and you don't have power and maybe you want to watch film, that type of stuff?
That's a good question. It's tough. I've been trying to watch film all week at the house, and it's kind of been a no-go. I tried to turn my cell phone into a hotspot, and cell phones are kind of moving slow right now anyway, so it's just tough. So just spending extra time here, getting film here in the morning, extra film, getting caught up on things here instead of at home now. So it's no big change, but definitely throws a little a kink in your daily routine.
Hey Jared, what are some of the areas you feel the offense still needs to kind of improve?
I think capitalizing on opportunities when we have them, like in terms of like keeping the chains moving, especially when we're in good field position instead of settling for a field goal, going ahead and keeping the chains moving and getting points. And then also when we're in the red zone, making sure we capitalize on those points as well, making sure we get touchdowns and actually getting in the box instead of kicking field goals. I think that'll be huge for us.
And I know the offense has made a lot of improvements from compared to earlier in the season. How do you feel you guys have been able to do that, despite the fact that there's been some uncertainty with the roster between injuries and things like that?
It's just no matter who's up, we got to be prepared to play. We got to be prepared to do our job. That's the biggest thing. I think Marquez did a great job last week of coming in and filling the void. And that's what the game is about. Everybody's not going to be healthy. You pray and you hope, but everybody's not going to be healthy and ready on Sundays, every Sunday. So it's up to the next guy to step up and do big things and come in and help us when we're needed. So it's just continue to keeping guys in tune and keep them locked in and focused so they can be able to help us on Sundays. Gucci, thank you.
You guys all good?
Yeah. Say, Demario, what are some of the challenges that you've seen from the Chicago offense?
They do a lot of good things. You know, they got a lot of good weapons over there. Have a good 1-2 punch out of the backfield. Foles is playing really well. You know, they're doing a good job of managing the chain, staying in front of the sticks. You know, they pose a lot of different threats on third down and in the red zone. You know, a good balanced attack. So it's going to be a good challenge for us this week.
I know he's on the other side of the field, but Alvin has had many memorable plays this season and in years past. Is there one that sticks out to you, maybe?
Like you said, he's had so many. I definitely think the one where he caught the swing pass this year was against Green Bay. I can't remember. Caught the swing pass out of the backfield and, you know, made all those guys miss and danced on the sideline all the way to the end zone. I mean, it's so many. Just a phenomenal player, and he proves it week in, week out.
When you're watching Nick Foles on tape, is there something that he does maybe differently than Mitch, or are they kind of fitting into the same system?
I think they have a lot of similarities. You know, and they're keeping the system consistent. I think the things that you see with Trubisky is, you know, he's a lot more dynamic with his feet. You know, they're going to have some run plays in there with him, and you know, he does a lot more as far as footwork in the pocket and moving around. Where Foles just he understands that's not really his strength, and so he knows how to get the ball out a lot quicker. And that's what he's been doing. Kind of knows his reads and where he want to go with the ball and gets it there. And been in the game, you know, a lot longer and had a lot of success in the league. And so, I mean, he knows his strengths. He knows what he does well, and it really speaks highly of him that he's done well in multiple systems.
Coach mentioned earlier that the conditions, you know, with the weather and whatnot during the game are going to play a factor. I guess just how do you factor that into, you know, your preparation?
Just something else that's just there. You know, you play in cold games. You know, you got to know how to kind of set your body to be ready for those elements. But other than that, it's just football. It's the same game.
Mario, do you find yourself, I mean, having played in Cleveland and New York, do you find yourself giving advice to some of the younger guys who haven't played in that type of weather conditions before?
Yeah. Most guys kind of know. If you've been in the league long enough, you've had cold games. So, and everybody's different. With the young guys, you know, might tell them a few things about the elements and, you know, what they got to be prepared for and different techniques that they can do. You know, we were telling all our linebackers, you know, sleeves not allowed for linebackers in the league, so they got to find another way. So don't think that you're gonna put some sleeves on Sunday. We don't roll like that.
Hey, Demario, kind of looking, this is a non-football question, but I know the league is, you know, teams are not using their facilities on Tuesday because of the election, but just how important is that you feel like that the league, you know, decided to make that call on that?
It's really big. It's really big when you look at our last election and just how many people didn't vote. You know, it just never be a situation where people feel like their voice isn't heard or their voice doesn't matter. And so I think going above and beyond and stress the emphasis of the importance of everyone's voice, no matter who you're voting for, just understand, you know, what's going on in the world and understand that your voice matters. And that's the great part of our country is that we kind of get to decide, you know, who our leaders are going to be. And it only works when we all use our voice. And so whether that's not just the national election, but the local elections, understanding, you know, who the city council members are, what they stand for, understanding who your local DA is, understanding, you know, who your local sheriff is, like all those matter. And understanding the power of your voice is how you really change your community, change your city, state, and the nation. And so, through all the craziness or the weirdness of 2020, I think one of the biggest things is our awareness has gone up as people in terms of our own individual voices and the power of our voices collectively. And I think people are starting to understand that, and it's motivating people to do more. And if it took all of this stuff happening for people's social consciousness to be raised, and all of us to realize that when we work together, that we're more powerful, I think, you know, I'd do it all over again.
The league put out a release with the NFLPA earlier this week that said 90% of all players on active rosters were registered to vote. How encouraging is that?
It's very encouraging, you know, and that's why it's very alarming when, you know, people don't want, you know, athletes to do anything but entertain or play their sports. You know, we're leaders, not just leaders, you know, on the field, but leaders in society, you know, leaders in our homes, leaders in our communities. And I think that's what leaders do, you know, is when people don't know what to do or people aren't doing it, you don't count on somebody else, you just step up and do what needs to be done. And if that's serving as an inspiration to the rest of our society, then, you know, that's a great thing.
Anything else, guys?
Hey, thank you all. Be blessed.
All right, guys. I should.
that, Traquan, what's it been like, well, not what's it been like, but how's it been, how have you all been able to just have so many different receivers just step up and whenever someone's absent?
I feel like it's a big part of just being prepared, and I feel like CJ and RC does a great job of making sure everybody, you know, not just the guys who up for that week, know what they're doing, you know, and making sure the backups get in and taking reps as well. So I feel like, you know, that's what they do a good job here at doing, making sure everybody prepared, because, you know, one week you can be up and the next week somebody else can be up, and that's just the shows, you know, you just got to stay prepared, you know, whether you think you up or not.
Having been around Michael Thomas, how can you tell how bad he wants to be back out on the field in a game?
Oh man, like he's just itching to get out there, you know, and we want him back out there just as bad as he wants to be out there, but you know, I know he definitely missed being around the guys, you know, and being, you know, part of practice and everything. I could tell for sure he definitely want to be out there, and we definitely want him to be back out there.
Hey Trey, is there like a specific play that just sticks out in your mind whenever you think of Alvin Kamara? Because there's something that he did that just makes you, you know, your jaw drop and you're like, man, that was the play.
If I can choose one play, like it's many. I'll probably say the catch on the sideline against the Chargers. That was an amazing catch, an amazing concentration. Like I looked at the film and I'm like, how did he get keep his feet in? Like it was just all around amazing. He went over the top of the dude's head, concentration amazing, feet in bounds, clutch play, everything. All the check marks are there. Like it's just an amazing, you know, just watching him and watching what he does. You know, it's always a highlight play from him in the game.
Traquan, would you have made that catch?
I would have tried my best to make it, but I'm glad, you know, it went to Kamara and not me, and so we wouldn't have to see that. But yes, I think I would have made it.
Yeah, he was saying the other day that he can throw the ball. He wants to like launch one downfield to you. Is he talking smoke, or is he actually a pretty good thrower?
No, I believe he has a pretty good arm. In practice, like today, we have a game that we play, and it's whoever hit the pylon, the first to hit the pylon win for the week. And I believe he's leading right now. He hit the pylon most out of the couple guys that do play the game. So he does have a pretty good arm.
When you watched his backward pass from last week on film, how would you grade that throw?
A+. I graded it A+ because we completed play, got the first down, got the yardage and everything. So in my eyes, it's an A+.
He called it ugly, so I was just curious to hear what you thought.
Well, it was a completed pass. You know, like they say, you know, a catch is a catch.
Traquan, having grown up in Florida, man, how different is it for you to go to these places like Chicago and play football, and what do you have to do differently as far as preparation?
As far as, you know, the weather, very different. I'm not, you know, used to playing up north in colder weather, but it's a part of football. You know, you just kind of got to get used to it. It's just a mind game. You know, you go out there and basically you got to know it's going to be cold. You can't psych yourself out or put too much thought about it. You got to more focus on, you know, what you got to do for the game and prepare for the game. We all know it's going to be cold, and this week Sean did a great job preparing us, you know, telling us about the weather, and with us practicing outside, and it's getting a little chilly here, honestly, so I try not to put too much thought about it.
Just going to remind you, after you play in a 40-degree weather, that you said it was chilly here when it's 65, so.
Well, it's all the same to me. It's all the same to me. Cold is cold. Like, I really wouldn't be able to tell the difference between 65 and 40. Honestly, me at one point, if it's cold, it's just all around cold until you really get to running around and, you know, your body warms up.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks, Traquan.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
That's it for